Live video is starting. Trying to figure out exactly when things start, so I'm reading the captions. You're now live. I'm now live. I was not live before. Or maybe I was. Create another event. No. Hi, how are you? I think it's Monday. I know it's 5 o'clock. I think it's Monday, so here I am. Hi. How was your week? How was your weekend? Mine didn't suck. Um, I've been doing a lot of things and, you know, and I've been doing a lot of things. And at the end of the day, I'm like, crap, I didn't do whatever. But then I realize I did do whatever and I did other things and I'm making progress. So it's different to get to the end of the day and it shouldn't be, but it's kind of different to get to the end of the day and realize that you have been productive all day. So yay! Ooh, I'm up to 3 viewers. Okay, so I moved a bunch of furniture around. Well, I moved a bunch of furniture around. One piece is where it's gonna go, and the rest is like in limbo. I've got some 80s style, two 80s style coffee tables that are gonna go when I can get something to replace one of them. Hi, Anna. Um, so if anybody wants some 80s style, they're like, I should keep them. They're indestructible. They've been through two kids and spills, and one's got they're just, they're this weird, I don't know what they're made out of. They're from, I don't know, some store. But they're like 80s style tables. Yep. Hi, Diane. Um, yeah, so I moved a desk. I was pretending it was like a vanity, even though I don't do anything vanity related. And I had it in my bedroom, and I don't know, doing weird, like not doing weird stuff there. That would be weird, right? But I kept my medicine there, and I drank my first glass of water there, and um, I don't know. And it hit me last night that it would work better in my library, which is the back half of my living room. I have an open floor plan, and it's a freaking heavy. It's a glass top table, so I cleared it off. I cleared out the path to the downstairs. I flipped it over, which was easy because it's top heavy. So it, flipped over easily. And I slid it down the stairs all by myself. I was in front. And then I slid it because it's slippery glass top. I slid it around and then I had to move more furniture because it's kind of like one of those games. And yeah, it is. I got it in place and set up, and I have a desk in my library now. Library, back half of my living room. It's open. I already said that. So it kind of happened fast. So then the things that I hated the way the library part was set up. So now it's gutted except for that desk and a chair, and I like those. So far so good. Hi, Marilyn. Hey, good. Marilyn was having trouble seeing my Facebook Live, so she says it's working better on her phone than her iPad. Good to know. So, yeah, so move some things around. So now I have a giant trunk that's not super heavy, and I can slide it back. I want it to go back upstairs. It's been up and down countless times over the years, but I want it to go back upstairs, and I can slide it up, but I'm not going to do that by myself. I might try it by myself. I don't think I should try it by myself. Um, so, yeah, I probably shouldn't do that by myself. And I'm not, and I need to, I haven't been asking my son to come over. Like, I thought about asking my son to come over to help me, and I had told him before I would ask him to come over to eat dinner. I'd make him dinner, but Omicron. I don't want him to come over because people. I love him, but I know that where he works, there's just a few people, but they don't wear their masks, so I'm just not gonna go for it. Hi, Martha. Um, yeah, some people can see on iPad. Marilyn's, we got to figure out something on her iPad. Um, yeah. So, so move stuff around. Oh, so part of what got me moving things around, I don't know what started it, but like in my bedroom, if you recall, backing up, I had moved my office. This is my office. Whoops, from the basement office to the empty bedroom upstairs so I can look out the beautiful window. Oh, that reminds me. So do you see right here, there's like stairs, or there's a railing implying stairs, and then there's a light on. You can see the glow of the light. And then right there, that's the window, that one of the, I have giant windows in front of my house, and that's the corner of the front windows. And see, there's light shining through it. I always want to say this too. So by the end of this time that I'm talking, that will be dark. The light will still be on, but that little corner right there should be dark because it gets dark while I'm doing this. When I get done, I'm like, oh, it's dark again. So that's my plan. Don't watch it. You can watch it the whole time. It might be more exciting than watching me, but that's what happens in my living room, is that it gets dark outside. So it'll get dark here too, but I don't think you'll be able to tell light-wise. So I don't know what instigated it, but you get a bee in your bonnet, or actually what's probably closer to the truth is I had to do something. Like I had to do something, so therefore I procrastinated by like, what else can I do? So, oh yeah, I was telling a story. Never interrupted myself before. That's just so new, so not me. I had moved my office up here, and I had found some moth. I wanted to go through all the stuff, and I'd found some moth damage in some projects, and then I was checking all the yarn, and then I like rearranged all the yarn, and I offloaded some yarn. But what I didn't deal with were all my class samples and a big bag that looks remarkably like this, of swatches, which were like all the swatches, well, not all the swatches, well, maybe they are, because maybe I didn't used to swatch, but a crap ton of swatches. Now it's a teeny bit empty, like a couple inches, and then it was like overflowing with swatches. Hi, Abby. So I decided to, I don't know, so I started going through all the class samples, and now they're sorted, because when I'm doing classes lately online, when I go to prepare for them, I'm like, where's the whatever? I used to have everything in bags that I would throw in suitcases, and now I don't use suitcases, so they're not in bags, they're just in piles in my bedroom. There you go. So now they're in baskets over here. I have to find more baskets. I don't have to find more baskets, I have to clean out more baskets. So it's a never-ending cycle. But so there's room for more baskets, and then there's room in that closet for more baskets, but that's where my class samples are now. And so I got those all sorted and out of my bedroom, and then that left the giant bag of swatches. So I started going through the giant bag. That was like, oh, I have to do that. That's one of those things you don't want to do. There's like, who knows what's in there. But I did. I went through my giant bag of swatches and sorted by, this is something I could use as a class sample in an existing class, or this is something that I could use as a class sample in a class that does not yet exist. Those were exciting. I don't know where they are. I put them in a pile. And then some were like, this is not bringing, it never brought me joy. And so I actually pitched some, and I started having a pitched pile. And then I thought, but I can make things with that yarn. So there's a lot of things like this, which this is a swatch from a class I took from somebody. There's shaping. I would guess this was a Melissa Leitman class, because there's a cable over here and there's shaping right next to it. And I know that I took a lot of classes from Melissa Leitman, so I'm thinking that was a class with her. It may have had a label on it. I took off all the labels because I do not need to keep these anymore. Some of them I did need to keep. Thank you, Abby. She likes my filing cabinet. I had I commissioned an artist who Anna, who was listening, had used for her garage door and garden fence. And that's how I heard about Adrian, and who just got married, by the way. And I think in Vegas or Reno, but I'm not sure. But anyway, my thought was, I don't need to keep these swatches because I know how to do the things and I don't need samples anymore, but I could use the yarn. So I thought I will find time, or not find time, but as I find time, I will just tear out these swatches and then I'll have yarn. And some of them are this big, which is a number of yards of yarn, so that's useful. I might do the Laura Lee Beltman trick of feeding this through a, because see, that looks okay, but that looks like it's been knit with before, because it has. So Laura Lee's, doing a lot of today, I think. It's okay. Pulling this through a, in and out of a boiling tea kettle, boiling water kettle. So I can do that if I want to. Otherwise, I can just leave them like this. But what I thought I'd make, I mean, it's a lot of scraps, and I've been wanting to teach. I mean, I am teaching, but I've been wanting to do, I have been doing, Sarah, stop it. I've been wanting to, but guess what I am? Have project classes every month. This month's was supposed to be a Fair Isle iPad cozy for your iPad that you're looking at right now, or a bowl. To learn the Fair Isle technique, and I had one person sign up, so that class got canceled, sadly. My pretend excuse is that everybody already took my Fair Isle class, so that they didn't need to take my Fair Isle, not everybody, but so that one didn't go. But I have, I don't know, 9,000 people signed up for my February class already, so yay, which is crochet granny square stripes and squares. So there's pictures of that. I'll put links up later. But see, now I don't have that swatch. That's very exciting. But my goal is that these project classes that I'm teaching each month can use stash. So some of them can use little bits of stash, like, say, little balls of yarn. So don't throw away any balls of yarn. And I'm talking like a yard or 2 lengths would work. 2 lengths. A yard or 2 yard lengths would work too. So see the circles, the shiny circles, those candy jars that are canted, and in there are little balls of different colors of yarn. They're sorted by color because it's me and I'm all about rainbows. But that's where, I mean, these all won't fit in there, but that's the collection that this will go with. And I have hat ideas, I have, I don't know, bag or pillow ideas, I have, well, granny stripes and granny squares are perfect opportunities to use things up like that. So that's what's happening. Sweater out of swatch. Yeah, no, I'm not keeping these swatches, Diane. But yeah, I've seen Anna put up a link for Adrian. Yeah, Vegas. Yeah, they did it. They did I want to say, she's super cool, and they had a super cool wedding. They hit some local thrift shops and bought some cool clothing to wear for their wedding. Anyway, so that's cool. I did not do that for my wedding. Yeah, so save scraps and sign up for my classes because you can use stash, and some of them maybe will use bigger pieces of stash, but I'm excited about that. And Diane was talking about things, I could make things out of the swatches. I don't want to. A lot of them are, I understand that, and I don't want to. A lot of them are, like, that was shaped. This one I'll have to undo the tail. Like, I have more of these. I know what this was for, and I have so many of them that I don't need to have any more. So, yeah, because you know what happens if you, like, look at this one. I know what that was for too, and I have plenty of that. So it's not even, my friend Lou, who I've lost track of, she moved to Wyoming a number of years ago, and I lost track of her, sadly. I tried to find her and I can't find her, but she used to make really big swatches, like at least 12 inches square. And those of us around her would make fun of her, like, why are you making such big swatches? You're wasting all that yarn. I mean, what did we know? And she just was like, it's just what I do. And then eventually she had this beautiful Afghan made out of her 12-inch, and they weren't all exactly 12-inch squares, don't get me wrong, but she had this beautiful Afghan made out of all her swatches. Now that was a good idea, but my swatches are all different sizes. Some of them are like this, I could sew them together, or I could use the yarn and make fun things besides an Afghan, because I have like 16 other Afghans going at the moment. Bye, Martha. You can watch later if you want. It doesn't go away. Um, so that's what I'm doing. Lots of squares. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, I think I learned, or maybe it was for a class I taught, but it's probably a class I taught, whip stitch doohickey, which would be called a hem. So as I have this lovely habit of, as I teach a class, I do it again, do the project again, and so I have all these extra things. So I'll be tearing all those out. Did I hold up the bag? I held up the bag. So that's a lot of little swatches, and that's okay. It was very freeing. So at some point that will all be yarn. Like even this one, this is the yarn I used to demo, or used to use to demo stuff in person, because it was the biggest yarn I could find at the time. And I can still use it to demo or to hold stitches or whatever. So even if it's teeny tiny, we can make stuff out of it. So that's exciting. So I moved, so that's all out of the bedroom. The desk is out of the bedroom. I need to bring the big trunk up to the bedroom, and I dusted a couple things in the bedroom, not everything, because I'm not nuts. But the things that I like moved. And what else happened in the bedroom? Yeah, I moved my I bought one of my very early COVID purchases was a three-legged stool with a like footstool with a big opening in it so your cat can crawl in, and I thought it was adorable. But A, it falls over if you look at it, and B, my cat doesn't fit through the opening because she's ginormous. So I think that's going to go to the neighbor who fosters kittens. So that's downstairs. Some of my COVID purchases have worked better than others. That was a fail. It was really cute though. So that's that. Moving things around. I'm excited about some of the things that reminded me that I could use them for classes or projects. So that's good. Like the snowman is not a class or a project. I just found him and brought him in. But the bag under him is on top of a pile that's that tall. And then there's a white what is that called? A white thing you put in the laundry basket, and that's overflowing with things. So now, and then there's piles of yarn on my big desk. It's not a big desk, it's a tall table right there. There's lots of yarn so a lot of that needs to go in that closet. Abby, if you're still here, your wool is there, your hand spun. We'll figure out an amazing thing to make with that. So I need to clean out my stash, and I'm gonna make like more teeny. Oh, those look nice together, don't they? More teeny stash. So more teeny yarn stash. So we will come up with things for us to do that hopefully you'll be interested in doing. Yeah. So somewhere there's a pile of ideas that are already made. I don't know where it is. It's in this room, I'm pretty sure, because I'll say there's no knitting in the bedroom anymore, but that's a lie. There's two big projects and one big crochet Afghan project. Two big crochet Afghan projects and one big knit Afghan project and one other project. So it's almost a room for sleeping instead of being annoyed by piles. So anyway, let's look at my progress on my, I need to move that tree a little bit, or else I could move a little bit so it doesn't look like I have antlers. Let's look at the progress on my poncho. I just noticed one of the things I found in the piles of swatches, there were some, or maybe in the piles of class samples, but sometimes I found things that weren't class samples or swatches. They were like things I'd made that I found a hemp poncho that I'd made for my one of my son's graduations from high school, and that was a while ago, but it was in this pile. I found all 19 labels from my crazy Afghan that I just finished, my granny stripe Afghan. And people would say, how many did you buy? And I'd say, I think it's 19, and it was indeed 19. So what am I going to do with those? Probably nothing, but right now they sit there, they're colorful, and they remind me of my Afghan, which is down on the couch, gets used. What do we say? I remember I have the bag of labels I was going through with you, but I don't want to bore you all that much. So, I'd love to bore you all that much, but I don't think you'd stick around. So, another scrappy idea. Lexi's putting up a northeasterly pattern by Skenanigans. Is it like what is it? I don't want to click on it because I'm doing this thing. She says, I knit one, it is beautiful, and somehow my scrap pile didn't go down at all. See, that's a thing. That happens. I'll click on it later. Thank you. Yeah, I have some ideas and we'll come up with more, but this is my poncho. Remember my poncho? I did not make as much progress as last time. Last time I made that much progress. This time I made this much progress. But guess what? That is project. That is project. That is progress regardless. So I'm pretty excited about that. And this pin right there marks, so this is where I stopped last week, this pin. And this pin marks 2/3 of 3/4. No, that's not right either. Don't ever listen to me when I do math on the fly like that. Okay, so this is every 4 inches. 1, 2, it's every 40 rows. 3, that's the first quarter of this poncho. That's some marking thing. 1, 2, 3, that's halfway through the poncho. 1, 2, I ran out of the brighter ones. So 3 will be 3/4 of the way through the poncho. So that's exciting. And at that point, I'll have used up almost all of the 3 balls of blue, and I'll have a tiny bit more of the third ball of Otis, I think it's called. Otis. And then I'll have just 1 of each left to do 3 more sets of 4 inches. And I could probably make it longer. I don't know. And then it gets folded and sewn together like that. As opposed to, I got cold, so I'm wearing a poncho, and it's one of those ones that you just make a long rectangle and fold in half and leave some unsewn. So this is the seamed side, but I threw the seam way in the back. I think. Yep, there's the seam. You can see a little bit of it right here. Oop, there's the inside of the seam. So there's a seam which I've thrown to the back. And then this is just the fold. So it's kind of, actually I sat and arranged for a while knowing that you'd be looking at it and I'd be telling you about it. But this is not the same. It could be, but it's not. This one is the kind where you take the short end and turn it and sew it to the long end. And that will go, I'd like to say it'll go quickly, but I just said that out loud, so I've probably just jinxed myself. But I'm going to put that away. And what else do I have to talk to you about? I don't know. That's about it. Look at some of the, a lot of the things that were class samples that are not class samples anymore that are going to get torn out were on stitch holders. Stitch holders. I get stitch holders and stitch markers confused. So I have reappropriated like, I don't know, a dozen stitch holders, some of which, remember that I used to teach, this is me saying I used to teach in like ballrooms in front of a lot of people, so I needed big things. And check out this this thing. It's a very large stitch holder, as is this. So every time, it used to be that every time I saw a very large thing, I would purchase it for my classes so that if I held it up in front of class, you'd be able to see it in front of a big class. Yep. Oh, now they're so big they don't even fit in my little cup. So, oh, I see it. Okay. I'm looking around like, what else can I show you? Anybody want to hear anything? Sheila, any swatches you do not want to recycle would be very welcome to become part. Oh, the Sensory Mat project. Sheila, can you put in any kind of details? And I would be happy to send some your way. Um, yeah, that would be a nice use for them. Yeah, Sensory Mat project. I would be happy to go through yet again and pack. I have a mailer, one of those, stuff as much as you can in and mail it. I can put things in there. Let me know. Let us know. Thank you. See, this is why I talk to you guys. We get, what do you call it? Cloud sourcing, crowd sourcing. Crowd. Is it getting dark down there? Oh, see, I can't stop until it's dark down there. Also, part of moving furniture around meant that I also had to move piles of knitting books that I haven't looked at yet off of tables downstairs so I could move them around so I could get the desk down there. So I'm like, oh, I should look at my knitting books and put them in a different place. So I moved a lot of piles, but okay. Any texture, color, size is welcome. Okay. Do ends need to be woven in? I'm going to go with no. Because you'll get more swatches if I don't have to weave in ends. That's a good idea. Yay. I have nothing. Oh, so I'm teaching in February, the first 2 weekends. For stitches. I put it all in my link from last week and I have it on I'll put my website up at least. I'm being kind of lazy today. I think that's my website. I never really know. Let's see if it... Let's try that. Boom, it worked. So in my website, on my website, you can find my classes that I talk about. That's pretty much all I'm talking about. I feel like there was something else. So I'm teaching for Stitches Online in February. I think it's the first 2 weekends. It says on there somewhere, and we're making the little. It's finishing. What is it called? From start to finish. And so we start by casting on and looking at both sides of the cast on and talking about which go better with which parts of the thing we're making. We make the pieces of a little cardigan, talking about how to keep track of where you are and how to make them all the same length, and talk about all the edges on them. And then we're going to start putting things together, and one of the sleeves is done from the top down, picked up and done from the top down, and one is done from the cuff up and sewn in. We'll talk a teeny bit about blocking, teeny bit about weaving in ends, talk about buttonholes and buttons, all the good things. So sewing rows to rows and stitches to stitches and stitches to rows, those are gang signs for those things. And picking up stitches for borders. It's a lot in a little sweater. Yeah, so you can learn all those things. That's Stitches at Home in February. You can find that on my website on the class page. And then later in February is my crochet granny stripes and squares. I was going to call it Fanny stripes and squares because I described the grannies. If you don't know what grannies are, it's like a fan-shaped crochet stitch. So I was calling them fannies, but then I was told that fanny is a bad word in England and Australia. So, I'm not using fannies. So we're using grannies. But I still describe them as fan-shaped because I can say that. But I learned something new. Holy cow. Glad I got told that before I posted it. Instead of people going, that thing you put up for the entire world to see is not good. So what else? No need to weave in ends. Yay! Cool. Okay, well, expect a package then. Squishy package. Talking about my classes. So there's that, and then On Thursdays, I still have Knitter's Choice, 1 hour online Zoom help sessions for anything you want. It can be help, or it can be learning something from scratch, or it can be picking my brain about resizing something or making something. I don't know, I can walk you through Ravelry to find something. But those are Thursdays. I have 3 or 4 different time slots that are available on my website to sign up for. It's one person, it's a private session. And classes at Woven Art are on hold. In-person classes at Woven Art are on hold because of stupid COVID. So I'm not doing those, although I am still doing the Zoom knit along from noon to 1 on Wednesday. This is Monday. Yeah, what else? Oh, I'm taking a class at the Stitches in February on hand sewing a simple tee or boxy top. That's what it's called, a boxy drapey top. So yay, I got my fabric for that, and I'm going to use the pattern I might use the pattern from the class I took last month with Cal, or this month with Cal, recently with Cal, I think it was this month, on drafting a pattern from your own measurements, which was delightful. I have purchased fabric, and I touched it today. I'm doing laundry. I'm on my second load of laundry right now, and I thought, ooh, I should throw this in for the next load so I can, get it ready. Because I have to have it cut out before class. That's scary. That's a hard thing to do. I haven't cut anything out for fabric in a long time, but it's exciting. I feel like I'm teaching something else. I don't know. I think that's it. Yeah, I don't have a lot today. I could have gone through more swatches with you, but now I don't need to tear them out, right? Some I still will. But yeah, there's some fuzzy soft ones in there and some textured ones, so I think this will be good. I can't show you that. That's something I'm tech editing. Secret. I can tell you this is a funny story, and then we'll be done. So some of the swatches I found were for things that I knit and then I don't have anymore. And this is a swatch. Make sure it's right side up. It is. This is out of Uraflex linen, the sport weight linen that some people hate because it's stiff to knit with, and I love because when you wash it, it gets all drapey like this. And a lot of things happened with this sweater. This was during one of the first Ravelympics, or whatever they were called. I think Ravelympics is what they were called originally, where you chose a project and you cast on and tried to finish it during whichever Olympics, and it had to be, this time I think it might have been Winter Olympics. And I chose this giant, not giant, but a long sleeve tunic length cabled linen, well, it didn't have to be linen, but sweater, pullover. And I chose linen, and I don't think I finished, or maybe I did. I think I did. I can't remember. I probably blogged about it. I used to blog. But things happened. One thing is that because I had knit with this before and found it, kind of stiff to work with, I tried to wash the yarn before I used it. It doesn't work, first of all, because it's not machine washing, and this stuff really wants to be machine washed. So it didn't really work. It didn't soften it much at all. Also, even though I tied the hank in a gazillion places, it's still tangled up. And I didn't machine wash it. I just hand washed. I just soaked it and then took it out. Or did I machine wash it? That would have been stupid. I don't know what I did. Maybe I soaked it in the machine and spun it out. That sounds more like what I would have done. And it got all tangled, and then it wasn't softer, and so that was wasted effort. So then I had to untangle it all, roll it into balls, and then I knit the sweater. And then when I put it on, there was a dye lot issue. I had a line where there had been a different dye lot, and I checked all the labels and they were all the same. So my thought is that, it was obvious. So my thought is that, was that somebody, like a label had fallen off on the shelf and somebody found a label and put it on, because those yarns did a lot of that, did a lot of label falling off of, because they were tightly twisted skeins. So I think that's what maybe it can't be my fault, but they were all the same dye lot. So at the time, Nancy McCrae owned Woven Art. Now Meg Croft owns it, And Nancy's a dyer, a yarn dyer. And I went to her and I said, can I over dye this? Or could you, I probably said, because that's the kind of person I am, can you over dye this for me? And she said, no, but I can tell you how to do it. And she told me how to do it. And then she told me again, and then I probably made her write it down. And I did it, and I over dyed it, and it was beautiful. It was darker. I don't know where it is. It's gone. I don't have it anymore. So I don't know what happened. I might have been too big. I don't know. I kind of wish I had it now that I'm bigger. But that's the story about that sweater. So I tried to wash it ahead of time. Don't do that. And dye lot issue. So then I dyed it. I over dyed it. It worked. Yeah, I don't remember how I did it, but she's a professional, so I did what she told me to do. So there you go. All right, that's all I have for you. I found something to tell you some stories about. Yeah, if you keep an eye on if you're not in my newsletter list, I believe at the top of my page, my Sarah Peasley Hand Knitter page, there's a sign up button or something like that. And if you click that, it'll take you to my newsletter sign up. One just came out. You can see all the old ones on my website under newsletter or something. I don't know what it says. And yeah, I'm just trying to keep paying the bills. So sign up for classes. Unrelated to paying the bills, I'm going to work on my Patreon levels tonight. I'm going to tweak one of the levels, one of the things, one of the categories, one of the subjects of one of the levels to make it more useful to me and you. And I need to schedule I want to schedule a Zoom along for my higher, for one of my levels. And yeah, so my Patreon, you can find that on my website that I put in the link at the bottom right. There's a red oblong that says be a patron or become a patron or something. So I invite you to do that. That's it. I'm just babbling at this point with light up antlers and a snowman coming out of my ear. So I'm gonna end, and I will talk to you next week. Oh, so one of these Mondays very soon, because I went through all these piles in the early days of my doing Facebook Live on Mondays. I went through all of my, like when I first moved my office up here, I went through all of my projects and like ditched some of them, not very many, or kept going. And Lexi asked me, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, maybe it's time for another run through of those. And I'm like, but she's right. It's time. So things are in different places now because I've been in the office for over a year now. So they're kind of in different places, but I feel like I should tell you ahead of time so that you can like be ready for the big onslaught of the parade of, and then, we'll find out how many new things I've cast on since then that I forgot about. So I might do that next Monday. I don't know. I don't know. I should have done it today because I didn't have many ideas. I'm done. I'm babbling. I will see you next week. Maybe I'll go through all my piles of things, and maybe I won't. Maybe I'll have something else exciting to talk to you about. Okay? Okay. See you later.